Okay, somehow I got a tweet from Cher on my page. It was a slanderous comment implicating Mike Pence of sexism and homophobia and takes a cheap shot at the Bible. I responded to the Divacrat, and she responded with some cop-out to justify her slander. And this is why I keep talking about this stuff. Cher has millions of fans, and then you have people making the sad mistake of saying nobody cares what people like her think. Meanwhile, businesses are getting bullied into lawsuits, closing, but nobody cares what these people think. Nothing will come of it. We're dealing with nuts, y'all, and it's dangerous to underestimate nuts and assume nuts can't be dangerous. And one of their heroes in this kooky culture is Cher. And you know something's gotta be off with such a champion in the culture when a bunch of dudes like to dress up like her.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
Okay, I'm still not buying it. You liberals think of yourselves as forward-leaning progressives while constantly fueling your anger with the past. And while you insist on being angry about the past, you don't hold the Democrat Party accountable for the past you're so angry about. Liberals go on and on and on and on and on about slavery and Jim Crow and apartheid. You obviously find these things unforgivable, demonstrated by your ongoing bitterness over it, yet you support the party that instituted it. And their cop-out is that the Democrats have changed since then. Since when? Did this Democrat switch to so-called liberalism happen in the 1960s? I say again, Malcolm X himself saw that Democrats use patronizing liberalism to hoodwink the black man to get more control. Democrats never switched to liberalism because they were always taking liberties with the Constitution and the Bible, Cher. They were the ones who took liberties with the Bible to justify keeping the slave market legal, Cher. As you can see, I have to keep repeating this stuff because they do. So their cop-out and their excuse for voting Democrat is because the Democrats have changed and now it's Republicans, which is stupid and totally unfair. And I thought you lib Dems were all about fairness. You're gonna take 150 years of institutionalized bigotry from the Democrat Party and drop that on Republicans? You say it's the Republicans now. Republicans fought to end slavery. Democrats fought to keep it. Republicans didn't form the KKK. Democrats did. Republicans weren't burning crosses. Democrats were. Republicans weren't lynching people, black and white Republicans. Republicans weren't bombing churches. Democrats were. Republicans weren't hosing blacks and releasing dogs on them. Democrats were. On and on. Republicans haven't done these things and still haven't. Yet you want to hold the Republican Party responsible for the evils of Democrats. Now that's progressive. You keep saying the Republicans are the KKK now. Okay, have they lynched anyone since they've supposedly taken over as the terrorist organization that the Democrats founded the KKK to be? Has this Republican KKK bombed any churches? Have they been driving by and shooting up homes? Wow, Republicans aren't very good at this KKK thing. What's the big Republican KKK move? Showing ID? The Democrats imposed poll taxes and ridiculous tests and opposed voter rights. Oh, and terrorized people to not be able to vote. Yet Republicans oppose people claiming to be equal rights, yet those same people will deny the preborn kids' right to live. And because of that kind of stuff, all of a sudden Republicans are guilty of every evil the Democrats did. It doesn't matter that the Democrats like Margaret Sanger thought Negroes should be exterminated. And to this day, abortionists claim more black preborns than any group. But somehow Republicans are guilty for the evil agenda of Democrats. Democrats have always initiated violence or threats of violence to get their way. Cher is right when she says justify. Democrats thought that slavery was justifiable. They thought church bombings were justifiable. They thought their assassinations were justifiable. Kennedy thought opposing the Civil Rights Act was justifiable. LBJ thought opposing civil rights was justifiable. They did that before they realized they could use the blacks as a voter stock. They thought that taking to the streets and harassing people was justifiable. Bombing churches was justifiable. And as usual, you'll make excuses, and when no excuse be made for them, you try to shift it on the Republicans because you're too spineless to shoulder the weight of your shame. The Democrats have no respect for biblical faith. and it's biblical faith that protects the balance of freedom. But liberals are greedy and want the balance of freedom tipped all the way over to them, while talking about fairness. Fairness does not mean you can do whatever you want while ignoring other people's rights. And one more thing, and this is concerning Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who says that the RFRA is like Sharia. Okay, Kareem, you're a Muslim, but I'm not sure that you're a very good spokesman for Islam. If you think RFRA is a bad thing, and you want to illustrate how bad it is by comparing it to Sharia, then you're not speaking favorably of your own faith. I don't speak against my faith. I speak against those who take liberties with it. Sharia in itself takes liberties with other people's rights, which ultimately is a theocracy, ruling in the name of their God. This is 180 degrees from the Bible, as the God of the Bible does not want governments ruling in his name and assuming the role of priests. Basing laws on the Bible, like preventing people from violating another person's rights, is not a theocracy. You're not forced to accept Jesus. The state can't punish you for that. Sharia is another story. And right now, Christians are being played up to be the murderous, belligerent, bigoted bullies that enforcers of Sharia is. And Apple is boycotting Indiana while setting up shop in Saudi Arabia, where homosexuals get executed. Apple. Now that's progressive. The movers and shakers of Islam aren't stupid, y'all. And a lot of Christians understand that the Muslims are letting Christians be the patsy for what Islam actually does. They smile in the face of liberals and do the tolerance two-step as if they're your friends, while your hate for Christians grow. As you let Islam play on the self-righteousness of political correctness, and you will invite the charming murderer into your home. And he was able to charm you by causing you to hate someone else who didn't deserve it. You know, Muslims are noted for being instrumental at bringing chess to the world. The Chinese are noted to have an early version of it. There's early accounts of it in India. But the Muslims are the ones who are noted to really bring it out to the world. And I reckon by now, they've become pretty good at playing chess with the nations. They've got their rooks. They're guarded by the walls of political correctness. Any questions concerning them is profiling or discrimination or Islamophobia. And their mosques are a shield protected by the PC shield. They've got their bishops who are telling you they're a religion of peace. They come at you obliquely instead of head on about what their doctrine actually says. Like, that's not real Islam. I reckon Islam can be split into two factions, Islam and Isn't-Lam. They have their knights who are flanking foreign policies and leaping over combat statutes with their jumper horses. The queen is terrorism, as she instills the fear that she could strike from anywhere. And the pawn is the PC liberal, who's too foolish with pride to realize that Islam uses terrorism because they want you to be afraid of them. And then the liberals call you Islamophobic for being cautious of them. And because liberals are by nature supremacists, just like their Democrat KKK patriarchs, liberals are supremacists who think they are better people because they're more tolerant than others, and will welcome Sharia because they were suckered into thinking that the Christians were the threat they should worry about, while they let the demon who lied to them into their home. I'm Alfonso Rachel with ZoNation, and Cher's got a lot of fans, largely because of her music. If you'd like to see conservatism represented in the culture and help get the message out there to more people who normally wouldn't be listening to PJTV or Fox News or AM radio, here's a way you can do that. If your local newspaper or entertainment publication has a Facebook page, take the link provided and post it on their page. And just say something like, I dig where these guys are coming from, or the music of these guys gets me pumped. I mean, you can keep letting people like Cher use entertainment as a syringe to get her venom into the veins of the culture, or you can support bands like mine to hit the bloodstream with the antidote. Islam and Isn't-Lam.